Hello, this is Robert Larson, author of Arranging for the Small Jazz Ensemble. Thank you for reading my book and for viewing this video, and perhaps you've seen the other videos as well. This one's a little bit different. I don't have an image of myself in the screen, so this is just a quick time video that's real easy to make. And what I'm doing here is that I'm addressing a concern that a reader had and sent me an email and had some questions about drop two voicings, and so I just wanted to clear that up a little bit and also talk about assignment 6.5. And so I'm on page 115, and this is where open voicings are discussed, where we take a voicing and we just make it bigger than an octave. There's several kinds, and drop two is what we're talking about here, where the second highest voice of a four-way close structure is dropped to the bottom of the chord. It's very common. There's an example here, example 615, where you'll see the chord, and you see that there's actually a ninth in the chord. That's a chord tone sub. More about that later. But the B is the second note from the top, so that's been dropped, and you get this sound. Real pretty sound. Drop two voicings can be real lush, and they also can really work great with moving voicings, which is what I'm going to talk about in a second. You look at the example below, in the paragraph actually above it, it says, because the outer voices are so prevalent in an open voicing, they should form a consonant interval. And that's true with tonic chords, with chords at rest. And what I've seen with some students is they'll form a four-way close chord like this one, and they'll use a chord tone sub. The D is subbing for a C. And when you drop that voice, it sounds kind of funny for a tonic chord. And that's solved by not doing the chord tone sub, using the C instead. When that C is dropped, you get that tenth in the outer voices. However, if we look at the 2-5-1s over here, we see that with the 2-5-1 in C minor, we see the half diminished chord, and we see the D in the melody. And when it's in the major version here, the D minor seventh with the 2 of C major, we have an E. The reason why the E isn't there in this case is because it, of course, would be out of the key. It's not that we can never do that, and that's actually discussed a few pages earlier, right here. Minor chord progressions, and down here in this paragraph, it says the 2 half diminished can include a major ninth above the bass note, which would be an E, and that's derived from a melodic minor mode, the Locrian sharp 2, and it's very important, and it's unfortunately and fortunately out of the key. It's not in, E is not in C minor, of course. E flat is the minor third. So it can be a great sound, but sometimes it just doesn't work, and it certainly wouldn't work if D was the melody here. So what you end up with is a ninth in those outer voices, but it does resolve as I go through the progression. It's reminiscent of if you remember your suspensions in classical theory, it's like a suspension in the bass. A 2-3 suspension in the bass, but the point is that in a chord that's dissonant, that's supposed to be dissonant and it's supposed to be part of a moving progression, we can certainly have dissonant intervals with those outer voices. So I apologize for that confusion. In assignment 6.5, you actually have that exact situation come up. So here's the assignment. Of course, it's in landscape in the book, so we're going to look at the finale example here. And so what we have here is a 2-5 of G minor right here, and we have the melody note of A, and so I'm going to go ahead and put those chords in here, four-way close, and there they are. Let me go ahead and, if I can pull this off, put the F sharp in there instead of the G flat. So there's the full chord, root, third, fifth, seventh, and notice the seventh and the root are right next to each other, and that note is going to get dropped. So we will end up with a dissonant interval of a ninth for the A minor 7 flat 5, which is also a half diminished chord. I'll remind you of that. So here are the outer voices, and we end up with this ninth resolving. And it really sounds great in a progression like this. I'll go ahead and solve the rest of the measure here, and leave the rest to you. So there it is. So it sounds like this. I'll go ahead and play the G as well. Okay. So I hope that helps. We can have dissonant intervals with those outer voices in a drop two voicing, and they sound great. They sound great as 2-5-1s. So thank you for watching the video, and thank you for using my book, and I'll be posting more videos in the near future. Thank you.